If I was asked to define myself, I'd say I'm a travel, tourism, mobilities researcher. I take a strong geography perspective, but I also look at a lot of different interdisciplinary approaches. So there are three main areas that I'm looking at the moment. The first one is transformative travel, and I've been looking at how people transform through travel for the last 10 years. So that started off as an honours project, it became a PhD project, and then I kept on doing that. Second project I'm working on at the moment is called the Tinder Project, Travel in the Digital Age, and that's with Dr. Jenna Condi at Western Sydney University. And our first project under that is looking at how travellers are starting to use geolocation hookup and meetup apps while they're travelling, and how they're using that to connect within spaces of travel and also alter their identities as they travel. Third project I'm working on at the moment is looking at Asian working holidaymakers in Australia, and it's looking specifically at two visa categories, so work and holidaymakers and working holidaymakers. And again, that's looking at the prospect of transformation. At the start of 2016, my book Transformative Travel in a Mobile World was published, and that's based on the 10 years of research that I've been doing on transformative travel. The central finding within that book was that in an increasingly mobile world, when we travel to another place, there are lots of familiarities that connect us back to the space that we've come from. So that might be familiar people, so other tourists or the people that we're traveling with, or via the internet we can stay in connection back home with our social connections or our work roles or different routines that we'd engage in. So there's been a lot of suggestions that makes travel less transformative, but the argument that came through my book was that travel's not necessarily less transformative, but the transformations that people undergo are due to much more complex factors.